The transformation of the studio I'm about to show will inspire you to build a multi-purpose studio in a simple room without struggle. I used the single shot for over 1 year with the desk against the wall. But after this transformation, I've unlocked a wider shot, a secondary top-down shot, and a bonus third camera angle. And here is the beauty: in a few minutes I can also shoot on a clean background and easily take pictures for the thumbnails. I encountered many obstacles that could have destroyed the entire transformation: the lights, the audio, the space, but this is how I solved them one by one. Let's analyze the first shot where I had two big problems. I want to offer you a more complex experience in my videos, so I moved the desk to the center of the room to have some space to position the camera behind it and get a wider shot where you can see the desk and maybe some gear I will show. It looks like a small adjustment, but you need to take into account many factors to make it easy to shoot the next angle I'm about to show. I used to have the lights attached to the desk. For one shot, that worked the best for me. But if I want to change the angles and have multiple shots, I need to detach the lights from the desk and attach them to the very poles that hold the sound blanket in front of me. I use an LED panel, a Godox ES45, and a softbox with a Godox ML100B. You can use 2 light panels or 2 softboxes. It depends on the size of your room and the look you want to achieve. But now, being closer to the background, I have a problem. I lose the depth of field. I have no option. And I consider it more important to show you what I have on my desk than the blur behind me. And surprisingly, when I started to test, because the shot is wide, I can still use the Sigma 16mm f1.4 and the ZV-E10 Mark I. And because the Sigma is a 1.4 lens, I realized I still have some blur behind me, and that's a nice bonus. The camera is mounted on a classic tripod. I use a Siri Traveler VC, and I powered the camera with my dummy battery connected to a big NPF battery. And I can't forget my Elgato prompter. Nothing in this video is sponsored. I bought everything with my own money. The next step, I want to have a secondary camera filming from above. This angle is super important, but since I don't have the lights attached to the desk to mount a bar between the stands and easily mount the camera above the desk, I have to use a C-stand to position the camera correctly. But here is the big catch. To have good lighting for the main shot and the top-down shot simultaneously, I needed to move the lights inch by inch until I found a good angle for both. I have the main light positioned to light me up and the desk, and the light panel is slightly bounced off the ceiling and onto the curtain in front of me to create soft light from above. The light adjustment is tricky and it varies from room to room. Take the time, do 100 tests until you find the right position. There is no other option. And now I have 2 important angles and the light is positioned great for both. You can see a shadow on the left side of the desk when I shoot from above, but with the dark desk pad it's harder to notice. Or if I need a brighter background to show the gear better, I can increase the brightness in post only on the left side as a trick to balance the light. On the C-stand, I use the ZV-E10 Mark II with the Sigma 18-50mm f2.8. And with this setup, I saw an opportunity. I can use the main light coming from my right and the free space on the right side of the desk and put another camera. I have my good old A7S III that I used for years for client work, so I'm using it for a third angle. The third angle is not mandatory, but it's a nice addition. And after I made all these changes, I was happy with the visual result and strongly believed I solved the problem. I ran a test and realized the audio was a disaster. With the desk in the center of the room, the reverb is huge. The problem is the empty wall behind me, which bounces the audio like crazy. But I want a clean background and I don't want to acoustically treat the room because 90% of home talking head creators won't do that. I need to keep it as simple as possible and find the best solution I can. A simple solution will be to use a dynamic mic close to the mouth. Now, Because the shot is super wide, the mic arm and the mic itself will look bad. It looks huge in the shot, and if I move forward to write something, for example, I need to readjust the mic all the time. And also, when shooting from above, the mic will be in the shot. So I said, okay, I will boom my 8875R. But because it's a directional microphone, I have the same problem when I move. I'm easily out of the microphone's range. I filmed my latest video like this and I can't move. For talking head videos or online calls where I just sit and talk, that's perfect. But if I want to move even a little, I will be out of the mic's range. So the only option I have is to use a lapel mic. I'm not the biggest fan of lapel mics for indoor dialogue, but I have no other option. And to get the best sound possible, I use my Rode Wireless Pro system because I have had it for over 2 years and it's the most reliable I've tested, with the best sound quality. I record internally in the transmitter and also in camera, but I like to download the audio recorded in the transmitter and sync it in post because the audio has less noise than what I record in camera because of the camera's preamp. All 3.5mm jack preamps in cameras are bad and I want to avoid using them. And with the mic attached to my shirt, my body will protect the capsule a little from resonances produced by the empty wall behind me. I also have a DJI Mic Mini, but I don't like wearing the transmitter on my clothes. I don't like how it looks, and good lav mics will provide a better audio. The Rode Wireless Pro is the best value price in my opinion, $250 for 2 great lavs and transmitters with internal 32-bit float. It's a great deal for this quality. Of course, lav mics are omnidirectional and pick up a lot of reverb. And to process the audio and to eliminate the reverb as much as possible in post-production, I use Auphonic.com, an AI-based audio processing platform. This is the raw audio captured by the lav mic, and this is the audio processed with AI. And now let's move to the secondary shot with a backdrop. Because I sometimes want to shoot gear against a clean background or take clean pictures for the thumbnails, I wanted a studio backdrop. Initially I had the idea to mount it here, behind me in the first shot, and just rolling it down when I need it. But I don't have any depth to position the camera and shoot something wider like a big light on a stand. And the best option was to mount it on a side and rotate the desk when I need to or put it away for a wider shot. And like this I can roll it more and get a full body clean shot if I need to. I installed the background support system and mounted an orange one. It's a color I have used for a long time and I like it. You can use any color you like, it's a matter of preferences only. And also the mounting system lets me clamp my GoPro for a wide shot or my shape light, a nice bonus. And now the first problem was the positioning of the lights. But because this light panel is bounced off the ceiling and the sound blanket, it's enough as a fill light. I can just bounce it more to the white wall and it delivers great soft light. And all I have to do is move the softbox to a light stand on the opposite side. If I need the overhead shot, I also need to move the C-stand in the right position. Also, I can rise the desk and show you more gear by standing or using the chair. I still use the Sigma 16mm f1.4, but I need to crop the image in post because it's too wide for the background, but it works perfectly. Now let me show you important aspects and connections. To monitor the shots, I still connect the camera using Elgato Camlink 4K capture cards. I have 2 of them. I use it only to monitor the shot and see it before I press record. I don't record in OBS because the quality is better on the SD cards. The big monitor is mounted at the corner of the desk, so it can be used all the time while still allowing overhead shots. And to connect everything, I use multiple USB-C hubs. I have one from Anker and one from Ugree. Of course, for all the equipment I use, you will find affiliate links in the description. If you click on my links, you won't pay anything extra, but I will earn a small commission, and this will help me get sponsors away from this channel and create more valuable content for you. Thank you. Let's discuss what was wrong about the first shot with the desk against the wall. Nothing. I still consider it the best choice for talking head videos and online or coaching calls because you can save so much space and is the only option if you don't have a dedicated room to move everything around as you wish. If you have a dedicated room and can readjust the furniture, the adjustable angles are extremely useful. If you consider the options, even in a small space, you can make many nice arrangements. But if you are just starting or don't have a dedicated room to move everything around as you want, you can create the perfect shot much more easily with a few specific tips and tricks. And for this I will give you a dedicated video where you will discover everything you need to easily transform a simple room into a professional looking YouTube studio while saving space. Watch this video and build your studio to achieve your dream of creating videos starting today.